Hello, Facebook family. Welcome to another episode of Marriage Mondays with Nick and Trina Brinson. We just want to thank y'all for coming in tonight, and we're coming in a little bit later than we normally do, but we're here, and we're going to give you the word of the God that we have to give you. So we just appreciate y'all coming on with us, and hopefully, what we have to give tonight will help your relationship, and help you develop into the kind of spousal relationship that you're looking to have. So just want to thank you. Hi there. Sister Rhonda Johnson, hello. First one on tonight. Thank you for coming in with us. All right, and we just want to thank our bishop and our first lady, Finest Bush Jr. and Lady Denise Bush, from Crown Kingdom Cultural Center in North Augusta, South Carolina, where we get our teaching on a weekly basis from those two. You got anything you want to say?
You got it.
Yeah, sure I do. That's why it's a together thing. So we're going to just continue to thank y'all for coming in. We got two tonight. We're going to get in and get this lesson taught, and hopefully you will get something out of it. Also tonight, at the end of this lesson, we're going to go over some of the things we're going to do for game night. Hopefully y'all are still coming in, and by Wednesday, we will get the information out to you what you're going to need to participate in our virtual couples game night. So for those of you that participate in it, we just want to thank you for doing that too. We would like to get at least 10 couples in to do what we need to do for the game night to make it a good, fun experience for everybody. All right, so with that said, you want to say hey to the people as you continue to get on?
Hey, people.
All right, let me take a moment to get on to Facebook to welcome in my people.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up so we can see the comments. I'm not having much success here.
So
okay, I think it's looking pretty good.
Okay.
We'll have to see the comments on your phone.
All right. I need to get in first.
Yeah. So I think tonight's topic will be useful. Of course, we always try to choose topics that we feel are useful. But our topic, it's a topic we've discussed before, but it's also something that we revisit frequently in our church ministry on an individual level, looking at us as individuals as well as applying it to the marriage relationship. And so that's what we're doing. Our lessons we are learning in church are centered around, self-concept. That's a big concept that we frequently discuss within our church ministry, and understanding how your self-concept as a Christian, how it plays into your life as a whole, your perspective on life, helping you to make functional decisions for how to move through and navigate through life. And so that's what we talked about yesterday, and we were inspired by that conversation, by that sermon, to apply it very directly to marriage. So you can't get away from the fact that marriage is composed of two people, two individuals that come together as one. And so we want to embrace that concept and give you some tools for building yourself individually and bringing that to make the marriage stronger. You can't have a strong marriage if you don't have two people who understand who they are as individuals. You really can't come to the relationship bringing something strong if you're still everybody's always working on themselves, or should be, but if you don't know who you are as an individual, that will absolutely have a negative impact on your marriage relationship.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about a couple of questions tonight that will help you get your understanding. If you want to write the questions down and then go back and revisit them with your spouse, so y'all can sit down and talk about them, mm-hmm. It will help you get to what we're talking about, which is relationship identity. Like Trina was stating, we individually we know who we are. We know what we bring to the table, but some people got to get there. But making it all work together, that's where the work comes in at. To make how her individuality work with my individuality, we have to come up with a different identity for how we want this marriage to be. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that, and
Okay.
I'll emphasize that, or maybe try to clarify a little bit more deeply. Is it's not that you are changing your individual identity; it's that you are bringing that into the relationship, and the identity of your marriage is created by the two of you together.
Right.
And so, if you know, it's just like we've done a demonstration before with the colors, where you have red and blue, the Play-Doh, and you mix them together, and they make purple. And the purple represents the two of you together inside that marriage. No longer is there only blue or only red, but the two of you together bring blue and red, which creates purple. And you can't get purple without those two clear identities. Well, if one of you is white and the other is um, red, you're going to end up with pink. But if you don't know that you're white and you are um, not being true to who you really are, that will change what the marriage looks like together.
Right.
So I don't know if that clarifies or muddies the water, but I do think people have to understand that each person's identity is an important part of the marriage as a unit.
Okay. And when you come together and you're involved with each other and you're trying to create this identity, the one thing that will unite you into oneness is purpose. If y'all identify with a purpose with each other, that's a unifying element that comes with when you're trying to identify.
Very true.
Dr. Miles Monroe said, where when purpose is not known, abusive is inevitable.
True.
You know, if I don't know her purpose in my life, I'm gonna abuse her. That means if I don't see where she fit or where she brings something to me to make me better, then I can't appreciate who she is. And I will absolutely abuse this relationship.
Right. And abuse may sound like a strong word. Misuse might even be more precise. You know, which you can misuse something and actually be abusing it just because you don't understand how that thing is supposed to be used. And so it's important for you to understand the purpose of something, what it is designed for, you know, the ins and outs and the properties of a given thing helps you to kind of maximize the benefit of how to use that. You know, one example is cars.
Right.
You know, well, you know, a car, you get in a car and you drive it. But if you have a car that has no ignition to put the key in, you know, then you might be a little bit confused about how to even start that car. You may have to read the manual and find out, well, how do I start this car? This isn't like the cars that I'm accustomed to. This has a different design. And so sometimes you have to stop and take time to consult the creator to find out how did the creator intend for this vehicle to work? How did the creator intend for this person to be interacted with, or for this person to be to navigate through the world? How can I appreciate the design and not misuse it?
Yep, and that could be a little easier than, you know, in a marriage situation. If y'all don't come together and communicate, that could be easily done. You can easily misuse another person.
Oh, absolutely.
And not, you know, even really know it or understand it.
Well, the interesting thing about male-female relationships is people tend to get into their head these broad generalizations about women blank, fill in the blank. Men, all men, fill in the blank. And these things are ingrained in our psyche, I think might be the right word, as we are growing and developing. And can you think of some of the things that we generalize, that not necessarily personally us, but in general, you know, I remember someone saying, you don't never put nothing past a woman, meaning don't ever underestimate what a woman might do, or you might think she might not do. But if a woman is angry enough, you can't put nothing past a woman.
Okay.
But that's not necessarily true, and that's a
No.
mindset or a stereotype that's not even based upon your individual spouse. Those stereotypes, or someone. I guess it's easier for me being a woman. I think about negative mindsets towards women. Are you trying to think of something to help me out?
For men, all men are dogs.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a misrepresentation of men, because all men are not dogs. But
A lot
that's
of them are.
that's a general consensus among society.
Exactly, and there's proof that a lot of them are. And there's proof that a lot of women are conniving and may have bad intentions.
Right.
But none of that really matters when you have your own spouse. You
Nope.
have to study your own spouse and get to know your own individual spouse for the person that they are, and not bring all those generalizations into your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's just garbage and baggage that really just weighs down the relationship. Take some time to spend when we talk about doing date night, and even through the dating process before you get married. Take some time to really understand, who is this person that you are attaching yourself to. Find out how their mind works. Find out what is their typical way of functioning and being, so that you can adjust how you approach this person. Some people don't like to talk at the end of the day, and it might not be the best time of day to bring a problem to that spouse. Or even if you're the spouse that might not like to talk at the end of the day, well, you might recognize that your spouse wants to go back and review their day verbally. And so if that's not something that comes naturally to you, then when you know that about your spouse, then you got to make some adjustments to maybe reserve some of your nerves and your words to talk to your spouse at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
But that may not be true for every person. So that's sort of what we're talking about today when we're talking about understanding yourself,
and learning the identity that both of y'all have in this marriage and how your marriage is going to function. Along with that, the idea of purpose. With purpose, you understand that unites us and puts us in a position to go forward together,
right,
in oneness. But not even when, but as you're fulfilling your purpose, there's a lot of potential that follow you as you're fulfilling your purpose together.
mm-hmm.
Because the things and when we've said it several times, we have ideas, but when we come together, we get a better idea. So the potential that I'm talking about is potential stuff that can make the marriage better, make your financial situation better. There's all kind of potential. Never underestimate your potential, or let anybody put a lid on your potential, or hold your marriage in a box where you can't explore and do things outside of that box. Mm-hmm. Don't let anybody put a restriction on what you and your spouse can do together.
Right.
Because what you're doing, and we've been talking about lids, you're never being able to expand, and people putting you in a box and trying to get out of that box. But if you are a child of God, you understand that you have all things available to you if you believe. Do not put your marriage in a box. Don't always say that, I always got to live here around my mom and my dad. You never know where your fortune lies. You may have to move away from them, to get whatever God has for you. And right now, we see the purpose in our marriages. We use our marriage to help other couples. We've had enough people to come tell us what y'all do help us. And we appreciate hearing those things, because it keeps us motivated to do what we're doing right here. And it gives us that purpose and that potential. We don't know where Marriage Monday is going. We can put things in place. We can come with better backgrounds. We can come up with better information. But we don't know what God in the end game has for Marriage Monday. But we do know, as long as we move with God, mm-hmm. and do the things that the purpose that He set forth in our lives, we know we're headed down a road of success with this. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's easy to take that a faith walk together, because we know that this ties into the gifts and talents and the assignment that God has given each of us. We're both talkers. I mean, my whole profession is teaching other people how to talk. As a speech therapist, that's what I do, is communicate and teach other people how to communicate. And as an educator, communication is a critical part of who you are as well. So, and you definitely are a talker,
I don't know
very
why my wife is
social.
calling me a talker.
Come
Don't
again.
look at me like that.
Come again.
Mm.
Why do you question that?
I'm not a talker. I talk when I have to. Why are you looking at me like that? That's her perception of me, and that's the perception I have of myself. I don't consider myself a talker.
If you know Nick Brinson, just let me know if you agree that he's a talker or if you think that he is a quiet person. I just want y'all to put in the chat, talker or quiet person. I'd just like to know somebody else's opinion. Maybe I'm way off and I'm wrong, but I'm not. But I just like, for you all to let us know if you think he's a talker or if you think he's a quiet, shy person.
Why you use quiet and shy? I'm not that either.
That would be the opposite of being a talker. He is a talker, especially sports.
That's a female answer right there.
It's not a gender answer. They are only talking about you. And gender has nothing to do with it. See, women get the rap for being talkative. You know why? Because Corrine the same kind of person. She come off it like she quiet. But you get individually with Corrine, you can have a good old conversation. One-on-one. You can sit back and talk to Corrine for hours. But he is very much a talker. I think she just want to take the opposite route. So, okay. What did Rhonda say?
Man, he doesn't talk much at church.
What?
See, Brother Charlie Brown.
Nobody talked during church but Bishop.
My dude, Coach, he said, Coach, sorry, but you can get it done.
Exactly. He can talk your head off. Yes.
Okay. I'll be more mindful of me being a talker or not.
Nobody said that was a negative thing.
Right.
What I'm saying is talking comes naturally to you, because I certainly don't sit here and have to, twist your arm for you to talk on this platform either. It's not a struggle at all.
Okay.
For either one of us.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, so we are in agreement.
Yes,
is that what you're saying?
That's fair.
So we've come to a place of agreement. Well, praise the Lord. So we both talk. We both encourage people. Would you say that's true?
Oh, yeah.
We're both naturally have a tendency to try to encourage people. And those are qualities that we hold individually. And then that's something that we come together and do together.
Right.
And so that helps play into purpose for us. We're both educators by profession, but I think that we chose those professions individually because they are a part of who we are and what we feel like our purpose is individually. So when we come together as a couple, it's easy for us to kind of get on that same page and to talk about what projects we can do together as a couple and how we identify with people as a couple.
Right.
And so even before Marriage Monday came about, we were kind of in the business of mentoring couples, counseling couples. We've done that for years. It's something that just kind of flows with us. And so that's part of our identity as a couple. Mm-hmm. So, and I've seen people work together and build businesses together as a couple. I've seen people do mission work as a couple. I've seen people do community work. Like I see even coaches. You get a lot of coaches whose wives are 100% plugged into that area of their life, and their wives are a huge asset. Their wives find ministry within that coaching ministry or that service that their husband does. That's part of their identity as a couple as well. Mm-hmm. That's not what happened for us. And I think it's important that we didn't fall into an identity that was not truly ours,
Right.
because that would have been easy to do. But it would have been miserable, because that's not really the heart of where we are as a couple. Of course, I support what he does as coaching, but I don't see him over here trying to help the kids with special needs either. I mean, we each have our professional areas, but then where we're able to come together is in ministry, both to children, because we've done children's ministry somewhat together,
right?
But especially for couples, and so that's part of our identity. And we get there by looking at asking ourselves who we are, where did we come from, okay? And of course, you want to talk a little bit about that. Where did we come from?
Talking about together, individually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Where do we come from? We come from the Creator. That's what you're talking about?
That's all you got to say on that.
I mean, yeah, that's it's simply put. God made us.
Segue into that second point, and you just fell flat. Golly.
Well, we come from the Creator. God has or given us everything we need, even before creation started, to give us what we need for where we are right now to do what we're doing. And there's no doubt in our mind that He has orchestrated this thus far for us to be successful as a couple and to have the success we had at mentoring couples and in our careers and how things have went for us. And I can always go back to saying God made a way for me. My Father made a way for me doing this journey. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she gave me a good segue, and
you recovered from it. Don't dwell on the past. Let's keep it moving. All right, and the third question that Bishop Bush posed to us to consider individually, after saying, who am I, which is about identity, where am I from, why am I here? And we've already talked a little bit about purpose. Yeah, that goes to purpose. Mm-hmm. And that's a real question. If you aren't sure what your purpose is in life, you need to get busy trying to find it out.
Yeah, figure it out together. If you don't know, if you can't figure it out together and you're single, figure it out individually. So when you do get with
wait, you talking about as a couple or individually? Because
I was talking about individual. Figure out your purpose individually. Then if you get married, y'all can figure it out as a couple.
Right. And well, and even going from the process of single to being married, you need to consider your purpose in the midst of choosing someone that you can move forward with in life. Because the purpose that God made you does not change. Mm-hmm. Your getting married doesn't change the purpose for which God made you. And women so often get lost in marriage, and then they don't even know, they lose that purpose. And then they look back years later and wonder, what did they do with the things that God put in their heart for them to do? The things that are such a part of the core of who they are, that they know they should be doing. They know they should be servicing others in a certain way. But very often, because of tradition and because of, especially here in the South, the Southern women very often are taught that it's honorable to be quiet and to be demure. And there's a place for that, but that does not equate with your getting out of sync with the purpose for which God made you. That doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't.
I don't change his mind because you got married.
And one thing that really, really helped us, and I don't think we ever brought it up on the broadcast, is when we're talking about purpose, I can go back to when we first got married and somebody asked me, what is the purpose of you getting married? And my first thought was companionship, being with somebody. You don't want to be by yourself all your life. But we made a decision to read Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. And we had a discussion every Tuesday and Thursday night about that book or something like that. Mm-hmm. We had a schedule when we talked about it. But that book has questions at the end of each segment that make you think about and have to talk about what your purpose may be in this life. And it gets you on the path of thinking, okay, why am I here? And then it helps you understand and helps you answer some of those questions as you read that book. And I thought that was pretty good for our marriage. That was one of the first reads we did together.
Well, actually, my mama gave us that book. That particular year, she gave all her children that book for Christmas. You don't remember that?
Well, I don't remember how we got it, but I know
That's how
we read it together.
That was our Christmas gift. That book and some money. They gave every one of us. That was the Christmas gift that year. And you and I just decided that we would read it together.
Right.
And so we would say, you know, by a certain day of the week, have chapter 1 read, and then we would sit back. We would go through it individually, and then we would get together and talk about the contents of that chapter, have a conversation just like we sit
right
here.
Now.
Yeah, we would go back and have a conversation about what we thought about what we read. And so I think we had no idea at the time how important that book and those conversations that we had. And I mean, it was something like maybe 14 or 20 chapters, but we did it like once or twice a week. And that helped us to grow together by obtaining that same information and us having conversation about the information together. We were mentally and spiritually growing together. And so that has been a pivotal or foundational, I would say a foundational point within our lives, and certainly within our marriage, was for us to have a clear idea. So I still encourage you. That book, I mean, I don't think it ever gets old. If you hadn't read that book, you really need to commit to doing that as soon as possible. I mean, put it on your list to go pick up this weekend, or to get it on Audible, or just get it into your hands. Every person should read and understand and think through that book. I don't care if you're not a Christian. You still Christian or not. That's a book that everybody needs to read to help. It helps kind of give you some direction.
It does.
And clarify some very basic things in life. So yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that, but you're right. That book, The Purpose Driven Life, that's the book we're talking about. Somebody can type that in, because somebody's going to say, what book are they talking about? The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. Yeah. So it's a great gift. A gift we appreciate. I don't even remember what they gave us last year for Christmas, but I remember what they gave us about 20 years ago. More than 20 years. That was before we ever had kids, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that book was very important for us. Can I see your phone? I can't see those comments. You know my...
Oh, they just talking about...
So I can't read them? Okay, thank you. You keep going.
Oh. Well, with that said, that's primarily what we really wanted to talk about tonight.
Oh, well, that's it.
And yeah, that's about it.
On to number 4, number 5.
Well, we've already talked about them in discussion.
But we didn't clarify those questions. So if they want to go through those questions, I think we should specifically tell them what those 5 questions are.
Okay.
So we did who am I, which was number 1, and number 2 was where am I from. And the third question is, why am I here? And that's what we were talking about, purpose. And number 4 is, what can I do? We did talk about that when we were talking about talking, being educators, encouraging people. That's just us personally. But you need to think about that for yourself. What can I do? What do I do well? What do I enjoy doing? What comes natural to me to do? What feels like purpose to me? And
Bishop simplified it as in your purpose. I mean, not your purpose, but your potential. What's the potential? And,
yes. Yeah. So that's a question to ask yourself. What can I do? And to think about how what you can do goes together. Sometimes one person is very good at finances or administration, organization, and the other person might be the talent of the group. They may have a specific skill, a talent, or a gift, whether it's artistry, dance, it could be construction, whatever that gift may be. If that person feels, not necessarily occupation, but what you believe is gets down to the core of something that manifests your gift. What can I do? It could be cooking. It can be taking care of people. It could be it could be almost anything. God made us very diverse people. But ask yourself, what can I do? And that ties into what you have potential for. And the 5th question is, where am I going? And that question is so important, because if you don't know where you're going, number one, you don't know when you get there. And another factor too is you don't know who should be going with you.
And you don't know where you end up at.
Exactly. And you can't even identify when you get to a destination if that's truly your destination, if you don't understand where you're going in life. Mm-hmm. So you do need to have some clarity. And honestly, in the process of thinking about these questions, it is extremely important for you to learn to connect and hear from God. If that's something you don't feel like you can do, then that's a goal for you to work towards, to strive towards, is learning to hear from God, learning to be able to extract from the Word of God what God is saying to you. And that comes through going back to that individual prayer time, your individual commitment to worship, and just to communicate and commune with God, to have some quiet time just to rest your mind and really try to learn to quiet your spirit so you can hear from God. So that's really what we wanted to say tonight. Those are the points we wanted to make with you. We just want to encourage you to ask yourself those questions, to have conversations about your questions and answers with your spouse, and to try to clarify, who are we together? Where are we going together? You know, and having something like that to rally around as a couple also helps to cut down on some of the conflict and confusion that you might have. When it's clear that one person is sort of an administrator or organizer, or has a certain skill set that's stronger between the two of you, that can cut down on the conflict that comes from not knowing who should be doing what. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's what we have for y'all, and I'm glad that y'all are. You're not gonna let me read it? You don't like me doing this? What's going on? I wanted to comment.
What'd you comment?
Oh, I didn't know you was trying to take it from me, so I wasn't sure what I should be doing in this moment.
All right, most of the comments are from. Yeah, there was the comments were Purpose Driven Life, Rick Warren, The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren.
Okay, so and other people are familiar with the book.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then Sister Rhonda Johnson, awesome lesson. Thanks again.
You're
Very
welcome.
encouraging to couples.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. That's what we want, is for people to be encouraged and for your marriages to become stronger. You have to do the work. God knows we can't do your work. We got enough work on this side of the road to do. And that keeps us occupied.
All right.
Does it not?
It does.
It does. But we're thankful. God's grace is sufficient.
So with that said, moving into another aspect of this, we have game night coming up.
Game nights.
On the 26th. And I will be your game master.
We.
Nick Brinson and
don't do that.
Trina Brinson. So, you know, we will be here on Saturday to facilitate the game. And we're going to do 5 games. Hopefully it'll keep us under an hour. But if it go a little longer, it'll be in the name of fun. So I'm going to just give you the name of the games. And when you send your email to us, we will give you the rules to the games and what you're going to need in order to participate in the games. So the first game is the cookie challenge. It's one of those minute to win it games where you put a cookie on your forehead and you try to make the cookie go in your mouth. So everybody's going to have a cookie about the size of an Oreo, so everything will be even, and you're trying to make that cookie go in your mouth. The second thing is, it's going to be a game called Get Like Me. You and your spouse are going to have to dress up like you're going to church.
Well,
together.
But if you tell them, they can be prepared, though.
Oh,
you shouldn't tell them that one.
Not that one.
No.
Okay.
Make them have to scramble.
Just name them.
I mean, you can go ahead with the other, but that in particular, you don't want them to be getting the clothes on the side. Okay. Then they,
be in there.
Yeah, you got to catch them off guard a little bit.
Okay, and then we're going to have trivia. A trivia session. Each couple will get about 3 questions, worth about 5 points each. You got a choice. You can do a question you can pull from a trivia question from kindergarten to 5th grade, or you're smarter than a 5th grader, or Bible trivia in which a 5th grader should know. So it's not going to be anything pulling from deep in the depths and the darkness, in the lightness of the Bible. So we're gonna say stuff like, ask questions like,
Say what you mean right there.
not darkness, I meant the light of the Bible. So it'll be a question like, who baptized Jesus? You should know that.
Easy.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to get a little more involved in this planning process.
I want the people to be successful.
We have some Bible scholars that are among this group, and sometimes, I think it should be a mix of difficult questions and easy questions. I don't think it should. They got to work for it.
I want them to be I don't want to do it to them like that. We'll talk about it. You might get some harder question, people.
You're trying to make it too easy.
All right.
He's underestimating
so,
y'all.
Let's make a meal. We'll give you instructions on what that'll be about.
Don't tell him.
I won't.
You're telling too much.
I'm just giving the
Listen, I want it to be hard. I want it to be a challenge.
Y'all see who's trying to make it hard for you people.
Mm-hmm. I want to struggle a bit.
And then we're going to have a game called Sweet Lips. So I'll explain that when it's time. Because I can't give you any instructions.
That's right.
Now.
So when you all email us, we will send you a list of some supplies that you will need in order to be able to participate. So I'm not going to let him tell y'all everything so y'all can plan ahead. Because see, if I was, not on the planning side of things, trust me, I'd be prepared. If he tells me everything, because I want to win. So I don't have all my stuff prepared and right there. So, y'all going to automatically lose because I got all my stuff good and ready to go. But see, I'm the planner of the group. So maybe he's not thinking like that. So I can't let him and I know quite a few other people out there are planners. No, I can't let you give them all the details. They got to work. They got to hustle. I want to see them sweat. Keep going. You got one more?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. So to get the list of things that's needed, email us. And it don't have to be nothing long drawn out. You can just say, game night, I'm in. Send me the list. But that's all this email is for. So if I get an email from you, I'm assuming that's what you're doing, is you're saying, hey, count me in for game night. And we will email you back probably Thursday.
Wednesday or Thursday.
We will email you Wednesday would be better to give people time to get it. None of it is stuff you gotta you might have to stop at Dollar Store and pick up a few things, but it won't be look at Rhonda. She is smart people. That's a person that's a planner. Rhonda will have all her stuff ready to go. She just had her right there ready to jump in and get it done. But anyway, we'll send you the list, a short list of things that you're going to need to have. Right. And they'll be just everyday household things. So if you don't have it already on hand, which you probably already have most of them, you just go run out and pick up $2 or $3, $4, $5 and you'll be done. You have everything you need. And so we'll send you that list, and we will also send you the link because you will need the Zoom link. So, I was a little strict the first time. I was saying we only want couples that's participating, but I think it's going to be good to watch too.
Oh, yeah.
So, we'll be a little more lenient with that. So even if you're not coupled up and you're not actually participating in the game, we'll let you tip in and watch, but you still need to email so that you can get the link to participate, to have access to the Zoom, because it will not be aired on Facebook. I ain't going to do y'all like that because you're going to be looking silly on one or two of the games, but that's just part of the fun.
All right.
I think that's it.
That is it. With that said, from the lady and the coach, we love y'all. Good night.